Hi, just confirming my screen is visible.
Yeah.
Yes, looks good.
All right. I know that this presentation is for grading purposes, but I would really want everyone to think of it as a brainstorming session. So my project name is The Box to Go, which is affordable meal plans for international and Indian students. We deliver affordable meals for Indian students by aggregating orders from various restaurants and delivering them at a fixed time and location under a subscription plan. The problem statement: Indian students lack time and transportation. Most Indian students travel 14,000 kilometers away from their home, and they do not have the same resources that they used to have back in their home, like a car or even the time which is distributed amongst, like, the household chores time which is distributed when you live with a family. Plus, they are more financially restricted. You are living in a different country where you are dependent on your own income. You have to manage your own finances, and there is no support system. Further, Indian students back home are a lot privileged in way that all of their basic household chores are distributed or taken care by very cheap services that are offered over there as compared to over here in America. Further, the Indian cuisine is time expensive. Any Indian student you talk to in America will let you know that they have to take one bus to the grocery store, to the American grocery store, get all of this stuff. They have to take another bus to the Indian grocery store, and they have to bring all of that groceries back home, create a meal, which takes a lot of time as compared to the average staple food that Americans consume. That is because Indian cuisine requires two or three different entrees in a very smaller portion as compared to what is offered in America. The solution to this problem is we cut down on their time expense by delivering the food to students during their lunch and dinner time on campus. We will provide them meals at affordable cost under a subscription plan, and next we will be offering them healthy Indian cuisines. We plan on doing this by um, most students on campus eat lunch at 1 p.m. and dinner at 8 p.m. This is all backed by my survey, which I'll share in some while. The students will be enrolled in a subscription plan where they will have to pay a fixed amount every 15 days or monthly, and they have to choose the days they would want the food to be delivered. After that, aggregating the orders from all student payments, we will send an automated email to a partner restaurant which is nearby their delivery location, and that partner restaurant will receive an email saying, hey, we need 50 boxes for this particular day. The partner restaurant will prepare those 50 boxes that will be picked up by our delivery person and delivered to student during their lunch and dinner time on campus. These are some illustrative screenshots that I have prepared. On the left, you can see a student mobile and web interface where they can choose the days they would want the food to be delivered. On the right, there will be a menu which will be fixed every 15 days. There will be a change in the menu. This menu will be provided by the partner restaurant, wherein, let's say, on Monday they have a certain items which will be displayed to students, and same on Tuesday. Students just have to give a 24-hour notice and let us through our software know that, hey, I need the food to be delivered on Monday at 1 p.m. during my lunchtime. Collectively, 50 or so students will put in their orders, and the whole cycle will run. The food delivery and catering market. So this is a business from B to C, business to consumers. The customers for my business would be Indian students on an American campus. The go-to market strategy for this service is to launch the services by September. The sales and marketing plan that this project has will have referral programs wherein if you refer our services to someone else, you'll get a discount on the meal, partner with the Indian Student Club on campus, and provide coupons to increase the revenue and sales. Again, on a bigger picture level, there are nearly on an average 500 to 700 students on an American campus, on the bigger American campuses. So scaling this whole business model in universities with high Indian student population. So for example, RIT has nearly 1,300 Indian students on campus. When you go to bigger cities like Chicago and New York City, the student population ranges from 20,000 students to even 30,000 students in those vicinities. So we can scale the same business model where the high Indian student population is. Further, the whole business model is just reinventing the wheels to appropriate it to American model. Students back home were dependent on this type of food service, and we just are replicating it in an American model. This is the business model. For your reference, students will pay us, the business, to go a weekly or a bi-weekly subscription plan, and we will take food from the restaurants and add a markup to it and deliver it to students. In So this subscription plan model is something like Netflix, or wherein they can we can charge $66.5 for 7 meal credits, and the students will be given 7 meal credits and the menu for 15 days. In those 15 days they have to choose the 7 days that they would want to, and a monthly plan would have $133 for 14 meal credits. So this averages down to $9.50 for 1 meal, which is lower than what other players are offering. Further, the students will have the flexibility to choose accordingly. This is a rough profit and loss statement. I will run you through it. This is just for 1 year and 4 quarters. I have included only two universities that I will launch after the project. In quarter 1, so one unit is basically telling us that it is one subscription plan of $133. So one unit is one subscription plan for $133. So I am estimating that by the end of December, if I launch in September, I will be able to sell 200 monthly subscriptions for my services, wherein 200 monthly subscriptions can be a recurring customer or a new customer, but in holistic, I will be able to sell 200 subscriptions at RIT itself. So that brings us to $26,000 revenue, and the unit cost, which is $105, that is the amount which I am buying the food from the restaurant. So $105 is 14 meals, which 14 meals. So their restaurant is charging me around $7 to $7.50 for including the sales tax for 1 meal, and there is where my profit margin will lie. So the other cost that include with this is sales and marketing, as I mentioned in my previous slide, that we have to do a coupon program, a referral program. So I'm dedicating $1,000 to reach the 200 subscription plan. Research and development will be $1,000 because I will get in more data as I launch the services in quarter 1 on how the students want the service to be, what the feedback is. And the general and administrative cost includes the delivery person's salary. I am planning to hire a delivery person on a contract basis, wherein the person only has to deliver the food 2 hours a day, which is a 2 hours job. And I have included the general and administrative, insurance and legal cost and G&A. For quarter 2, I will just say that for quarter 2, since when we'll have an established brand image, I'm estimating that I will be able to sell 550 subscription plans in 4 months at RIT itself. So even in quarter 2, I'll be only in one university, and the same cost, but with markup, because there'll be more expenses with it. In quarter 3 and 4, I will be launching these services to another university and replicating the same business model. So as you can see, the sales and marketing cost will be a little more as compared to what we saw in quarter 1 and 2, because we'll be penetrating into a new university. The competitive slide. In competitive slide, as you can see that DoorDash and Uber Eats are competitors, wherein even though they save time, energy, and provide a variety of meals to students, they are not affordable nor they are healthy. RIT Dining, another competitor of ours, provides affordable meals and has a variety of ranges, but it is often not healthy, and it also, it's not affordable, and it doesn't provide variety, whereas it provides time energy, saves the students time energy in preparing a meal. Moving on to Wegmans or another grocery store like Wegmans, they provide affordable meals, they provide healthy meals, but it takes up a lot of time energy for the students, which eventually adds up in their cost. A graduate student taking higher level courses won't really have time to prepare the meals and take it every day on campus. The alternative is that they prepare the meals on Sunday freeze it, they bring it on campus and microwave it to eat, which is not the healthiest way to consume meals. So I present you the box where we are providing affordable meals which will be healthy, and they will save the time energy of students by aggregating the orders and delivering them on campus. Also, we will be providing a variety of dishes since the restaurants will be changing the menu every 15 days. To give you the whole general idea on one slide, this is called a business model canvas, which I present to the investors, that would eventual investors. So if you can take a look at the right hand side of the screen on the customer segment, my customers are Indian students, 18 and above, student with less time and no car. The value that I'm proposing to them is delivering food daily to Indian students, $0 delivery fee, wide variety of Indian cuisines, affordable meal, and saving them time value. I will be doing this by an employee will be picking up the meals, delivering them at fixed locations, and there will be a software team and a customer service team which will be looking at the software and the customer service side. Let's say, for example, there is a student that doesn't get the meal that they wanted. There has to be a proper communication channel to either process a refund or solve that issue properly. The team that I would have to employ is a delivery team, an operations team, and a software development team. My key partners in all of this business would be Indian restaurants. The cost that I would need to sustain this business is there will be an operations cost for the delivery, a customer service staff fees, legal cost, and insurance cost that follows. And I might have to invest in a physical asset, which will be a van later in the later when the business grows. The revenue, which is the most important part of it, will be derived from the subscription plan, where students will be choosing weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly plans to pay for the services they will incur. Adding on to that, through my brainstorming and research, if a student wants to order more meals than a subscription plan, they can do a pay per service, wherein they can just pay us on top of the subscription plan if they want more meals to be delivered. So moving ahead, I have done sample run research data and next steps that I have in mind. So I'll be moving on to my during my sample run in the last semester, I have been able to deliver 15 meals the whole semester, and I've been delivering it to students on campus for a no profit, no loss. So I was able to understand some of the problems of it. And this is my research data, which is I used Google Forms, and I reached out to international student services, which shared my Google Form link with Indian students on campus. The presentation you saw was all backed up by research, and this research is only from RIT students. So as you can see, most students, optimum time for them to grab lunch, Indian students, is 1 to 2 p.m. and 12 to 1 p.m. So I will be delivering the lunch at this time. Further, when I increase the business, the dinner time is roughly from 8 to 9 p.m. and 7 to 8 p.m. So I will be delivering the meals during this time. I asked students how often do they order food from outside, to which they responded 2 or 3 times. The next question is the most important question which made me push this business. I asked students what is a fair price for a full course Indian meal, which includes delivery fees as well. And a full course Indian meals is basically two entrees in smaller portion, a rice and a bread, to which students responded roughly $8, $9, and $10. One third, one fourth, one fourth, and the other giving us higher prices as well as lower prices. So moving ahead, the next question I asked them was, if it is in your fair price, what frequency would you order the tiffin, which is the British Indian word for the meal delivery boxes, where students responded that they will be, if it is in their fair price, they will be ordering it around 3, 4, 5, and 7 times a week, which roughly averages around 4 times they will order in a week if it is in their fair price. The next part was more towards the payments plan, where as per the fair price and frequency, would you pay for a subscription plan for the services, which to which they said 64% said yes and 30% said no. And this is the next part, where they were fine paying weekly for the whole meals they will consume, or bi-weekly or monthly. So roughly one third people said that they will be fine with weekly, bi-weekly, or a monthly option. The next research was very important. I had to partner with Indian restaurants that students preferred, otherwise they wouldn't enroll in my services. So they gave me a list of restaurants that they really wanted the food from, and they gave us around 5 or 6 restaurants name, and I have went ahead and talked to restaurant owners of each restaurant owner in the list, and been able to get the costs from them, which was reflected in the profit and loss statement that you saw in the presentation. Further, I even opened up the students to give me suggestions and thoughts on how they would want the whole platform to be, wherein they said mobile application. Even some went ahead and said build an Indian Gracie buffet at RIT. So the next step which I thought from this was I went and talked to the RIT dining services and RIT parking and transportation services. In RIT dining, they have given me 2 or 3 meetings, and I have one more meeting lined up to discuss if they can give me a table, like Java's is a rented property on RIT campus. So if my business can be given a rented table wherein I'll just be bringing in the food and giving it out to students, so that students don't have to walk to the parking places on campus. In the next step, I have discussed with parking and transportation services. They have agreed that if I buy a parking permit, I can park my car besides commons, no, besides crossroads near Global Village, and my car can stand there for 2 hours with blinkers on, and the food can be delivered to students from that particular spot every day. So that students are also recognizing that spot, and that is also very minimal cost, which the parking transportation, just a parking permit I need to buy. So this was the whole thing. The next steps that I have right now is to talk to RIT dining, talk more to the restaurants to negotiate the prices, create a proper marketing plan, and start building the software that would be required to build this service. And my ask, I always, after the end of a presentation, I ask some things from the audience. So my ask from the audience is, of course, to give me feedback and brainstorm with me on how I can push this forward. And the other is, currently I'm brainstorming and talking with angel investors and venture capitalists as well on how I can build the software services. And another ask from all of you is, help me think about marketing strategies that would penetrate the Indian students on campus. So this was the whole rundown of the presentation. I thank you for your time, and I'm open to any questions that you might have. I'm always available on my email and my phone, and always looking to talk to anyone who has valuable feedback or thoughts or even criticism for the project. Thank you.
So really great job, Bhuvish. I wish that I'd met you earlier so that we could financially support some of this research. It might be actually something that you and I talk about anyway. So a couple questions for you. One, have you taken applied entrepreneurship, the class?
So always during the presentation, I actually give my credentials as well, which will help you. My credentials, I have been a part of Student Accelerator as my first internship at Simone Center last year. And all of this that you saw is basically my experience from that Student Accelerator, which is one step above of applied entrepreneurship. And all of this is graceful. I mean, all of this is gratitude to them because they have taught me on how to go ahead and proceed all of this. I also have a mentor currently who is at Simone Center. He's helping me with this project. We have weekly meetings to brainstorm. Another credential of mine, I was the Indian Student Club president, where for the last year. So all 1200 to 1300 students that come on campus every year, uh, I am mostly connected to all of them. I reach out to them. I talk to them about their problems. So this is a problem which they were looking after. The first thing they look for in a universities is the education good. The second thing they look after is there is food and living conditions up to the mark. So RIT has an excellent education. The second step problem I'm trying to solve.
Fantastic. So you cut out for a second. So you have taken the applied entrepreneurship class?
Yes. I
Okay.
mean, I didn't take it as a class. They gave me an internship to take one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. So this project was adopted through the Student Accelerator. And did you have a team?
No. So I had a mental health startup last year, which was selected and accepted into the Student Accelerator. But there was no scalability in the business of mental health because there were already, the problem was being solved. But
Right.
the things I learned from them, I was able to shelf that project and implement it to other aspects of my life.
Okay. All right. Fantastic. So, is it Dana or Jerry or Tony?
So Dana is my current
Okay.
mentor, and
Fantastic.
previously it was and Mr. Testa.
Okay. Yep. And Tony. Okay. Um, so, so you did the student, I'm sorry, not student, but you did the customer discovery.
Yes, the research that you saw was all customer discovery in
Right.
Google Forms, but I've also had one-to-one conversations with many students to back all the
Okay.
data.
Okay. All right. Great. Um, so I know your plans are to move on and do the accelerated MBA.
Mhm.
Are you still planning? It sounds to me from conversations that you're having that you still want to also simultaneously build out this app and try to really make a go at this.
So actually, my master's is in Masters of Technology Management.
Okay.
So it is an MBA for technology, kind of. So what my current app is basically management of technology. I will be mostly focusing on the software management and also the business management. So Masters of Technology and Entrepreneurship, that's my major. So yes, to answer your question, both of them side by side.
Okay. Wow, fantastic. Well, I would love to have a conversation with you about the potential to support you as a gap year fellow.
Mhm.
So the gap year fellowship was made possible through the $50 million donation.
Austin McCord.
Yes, okay, so you know about him. So if you think that you might be interested in something like that, I would love to have a conversation with you about maybe doing a shortened funding period for you. So let's think about that, but really nice job.
Thank you. I have researched about that as well, but I thought that School of Individualized Study, I mean, I don't know how that will work. We can discuss that after the presentation, whenever you're free.
Sounds great. I'll pass it over to Stephen. Stephen, you're muted.
Got it. Okay. So Bhuvish, I have a few practical questions about the detail of your project. Um, um, so where to begin? So you're going to be working with multiple restaurants. It sounded like you hadn't got that squared away yet, but that's your goal, to work with multiple restaurants?
So in my customer discovery with the restaurants, one of the restaurant offered me a very good price, which was doable, with, which I could sell to students. Few of them were skeptical that if they offer me the food at such a low cost, their brand value will get tarnished. And one of them told me that he wants to be an exclusive supplier to the whole thing. So currently, I just want to start off with one restaurant in my minimum viable product. In the long run, I want multiple restaurants to compete for the pricing and partner, so that I can, the whole vision is to give Indian students the cheapest food and a good quality food. So
I would imagine, as in most large countries, that there are regional variations in dishes. So, and I would imagine, though I don't know, that Indian restaurants tend to specialize in one kind of regional fare and another. So, presumably, that would be a factor in students. I mean, if I'm from Mumbai and you know your restaurant serves dishes from Southeast India, then I mean, how would that work?
yeah, great question. So to have that, if I have a, so the restaurant menu that you saw previously, the restaurant, even though specializes in, let's say, Mumbai dishes, they will be serving the Mumbai dishes for one day, and they'll have a flex. Students will have flexibility to not choose for that particular day. If they are really inclined to have a Southeast Asian meal for that day. And of course, my since the restaurants will be changing every week or so, the other restaurant which specializes in Southeast Asia will be delivering the food. But I get your point that the students will have to. There is a certain boundary, because I have to provide a commitment of these many boxes to the restaurant as well.
Okay. Um, I guess my next question is, I mean, there's no reason really why you should restrict this to Indian students, right? I mean, Indian food is popular with other nationalities too. So eventually, presumably, I mean, there's no reason to restrict it, right?
Yes, thank you for that question. In my customer discovery and my credentials, the way to build the brand image for this, the first thing I need to do is to target Indian students. There will not be a policy wherein any other person who wants to enroll in this cannot, but the sales and marketing fund that I have set aside, that is going to be targeted towards Indian students first, and then if there is money in the account, then it will go towards other people as well.
Sure, that makes sense. So one of my main questions that I would ask if I was investing in this project, I guess would be, you're going to be dependent on some sort of delivery system. It sounds like you've got the RIT end squared away or almost squared away.
Mhm.
And you're getting to the point where you've got a restaurant signed up, but it's the in-between part, the delivery part, where you might encounter issues because you're not going to be the delivery person. You're going to hire somebody to do that, which means you're going to be very dependent on a third party over whom you have no control other than the fact that they want to work for the money you're going to pay them. So have you considered the problematics involved in that? I mean, are you going to have, well, what if the person is sick? I mean, people are going to be dependent on some sort of regularity, and they want this to work if they're paying for it, right?
That's a great question. I have done the risk analysis in delivery system as well, wherein I didn't include it in my presentation, but I'll give you a brief rundown of how the delivery will work. I will have different people contracted under a contracted delivery, so they won't be my employee, but to cut cost they will be contracted, and I will have 2 or 3 people wherein they will be on call for a particular day. Of course, I will have to pay, if I'm calling in, pay a little higher, but it's a 2-hour delivery job, and you just have to pick it up from 3-mile radius, any 3-mile radius restaurant partner, pick it up and deliver it to same spot. The training of the delivery employee is quite easy because all the meals are same for a particular day. They just have to look at the list and see if that student is here and hand it over to them. So if a delivery person calls in sick, I will have to have somebody on call to pick up for that particular day.
Sure.
And if I'm unable to do the delivery, there is another general and administrative cost which I included in profit and loss to give a refund to the students or create a particular channel where my customers are not irritated by the non-delivery of the meal. Or
Right.
I will have to include some platform in, like, I haven't went to the detail, but this is the general theme, that I will have to compensate the students if I fail to deliver for a particular day.
Right. There's definitely going to be hiccups in there somewhere around it.
So adding on to that, there is another risk analysis. What if the restaurant fails to provide the meals for a particular day?
Right.
So for that particular day, I will have to manage the food from somewhere else or refund the students. And of course, refunding will tarnish my brand image, and all of that. Those hiccups are there. Um, but so we'll have to have a very strong plan. Not the optimistic thing is not to fail. There is a backup plan for all of those things.
Yeah, I think you're going to need a plan B and a plan C.
Yeah.
So there's got to be legal implications, both from the point of view of hiring people or contracting with people, but perhaps more directly in food health safety, right? I mean, presumably New York State is going to be interested in this transportation of hot meals across the city. Have you looked into the legal aspect?
Yes, Meg, I actually forgot to mention in the presentation as well. I have created a LLC over here, and I have discussed it with a lawyer as well. And I have run all these situations with the lawyer. So this is similar to Grubhub or Uber Eats. The food will be prepared at the restaurant. There will be a heated box wherein the food will be put in. It's minimal. It's not that expensive. We'll be picking it up from there and delivering it to students on campus. And to top it off, I have an insurance agent. I've discussed it with an insurance agent as well, that hey, I'm going to be running all of this way. What are my insurance claims, that insurance that I need to have in case there is a health violation. And another, with the legal standpoint of the food safety, we are comprising as in parallel to what Grubhub and Uber Eats does, which is also picking it up from one end and delivering it to another. So, but I have discussed with there is Safety Stacy, a person at RIT, she's nicknamed that. I've
Right.
discussed that with her as well on what I have to follow. I'm gonna have a discussion with her. So the concern that RIT has is Safety Stacy and others. They literally said that Grubhub and Uber Eats are also in violation of health codes. But that is not a great selling point for me also. But I have to, the heated box, the way they are doing is how I'm going to do it. And they don't have any legal problems as of now. Uh, but I will, of course, I will have to go to the proper discussion and do that.
Yeah, I think that's going to take a lot of thought. I'm surprised that Stacy and thinks that those other two companies are in violation, and you
Stacey,
don't. I mean, she doesn't want to do anything about it. I mean, that's unusual.
So there is this Carla, not Stacy, actually Carla Orozco. She is in RIT Dining. She told me that she thinks that they are also in violation of it, but and she personally doesn't order it from there, so from the delivery partners. But definitely there is a gray area of health violations
Right.
in those areas. But they are, like, from the business perspective. There have been no known reports of health violations because of the delivery partner. It's mostly because of the restaurant providing a bad meal. So
Right.
under which I talked this with my insurance agent as well. The restaurant would be liable if there is a bad meal. Of course, having said all of this, this will tarnish my brand image in any way.
Right.
So I will have to have a compensation or a refund policy set up where it doesn't go to that level.
Right.
But and again, business perspective, Grubhub, Uber Eats is allowed to deliver on campus on the motorable roads, and RIT doesn't have a problem with them accessing those roads. So I'm presenting my case as a parallel to them, to at least in the minimum viable product. So health code violations, there are none because I'm not preparing the meal. I'm just a delivery partner in the eyes of New York State, who is collecting taxes on the in the place of the restaurant. So I will be collecting taxes and delivering their meals with a markup.
Oh, you collect the tax? Yeah,
Uh,
you do. Of course you do.
I will have to collect the tax because I will be a marketplace facilitator. There is a law called marketplace facilitator, which Amazon and all of these, they collect the sales tax on behalf of the restaurant and then they credit it to them. So I will have to do that as well.
You said that these are heated boxes, so presumably that the food will be delivered hot, and the students will expect that the food will be hot.
Absolutely.
Are the boxes custom made? I mean, where have you got a source of supply for them?
So the boxes will be the delivery boxes that the restaurant already uses with Grubhub and Uber Eats. So that is a cost which is on the restaurant. The pricing that they're giving me is including the box.
I see. Are they recyclable?
No, sir, they are not recyclable. I mean, they're plastic boxes, so plastic, that way they are recyclable. But being very honest, I don't think this is a very environmentally sustainable business. Because it will be adding, but like the same to-go boxes that you get at RIT, foam based or plastic based.
And my last little point is that I see that you didn't give anybody a discount if they ordered you had two rates, right? One I think was for 2 weeks and one was for a month. Yes. And I'm wondering why you didn't cut the price a little bit for the month subscription.
Good point. Good point. So in a profit and loss statement that I mentioned, I'll just go back to that slide. So in this, the prices has to be constant. I can't cut down on the unit cost, but then there will be a like on the page, the price will be cut down, and like a limited offer, or if you order higher, there will be a sales and marketing cost. So it is included in the sales and marketing cost that $1 will be cheaper for if you order in a higher quantity.
Okay. All right. Well, this is a pretty impressive piece of work that you've done here, Bhuvish. It sounds like you've interacted with all sorts of people and are planning to, and you're actually going to do it, which is very impressive. So you know, Meg knows a lot more about how to promote something like this than I do. So I hope that you work with Meg on her ideas for promoting it. It sounds very viable to me, but I can also see a lot of hiccups there. As I don't know what a better word would be, but I think it'll startup teething problems, I guess we could say. I think you're going to face a lot of teething problems.
In bigger picture, to replicate this business model in universities, the profitability has to be with the volume. So unless I have a very huge volume, the business won't be as profitable as it want to be. Otherwise, it will just be a not-for-profit venture for students on campus. So this is one feedback which I've been getting from angel investors and venture capitalists that I have been meeting, that since my profit, I mean, when you think about it in a bigger picture, I'm just delivering the meals. I'm not preparing them. I'm doing nothing. I'm just delivering them, and software is automated. So, and I'm trying to cut the cost down, but they are saying that the profitability in long run will only come with huge volume, which again is tied up to how much money I put into sales and marketing. So
Yeah.
this is one scalability thing in bigger picture I have to solve. And of course, as you mentioned, all the other teething problems, that small problems that I have to think about.
It's unfortunate that you weren't presenting this morning, because one of the students who presented this morning earlier, her project was about experiential marketing, and and it was also a hugely impressive presentation. And you might want to get together with her and learn from her about the experiential marketing concept that she was talking about. Although I can imagine you've sort of got a captive audience, so I can't see how, you know, how marketing is going to be that big of a difficulty for you.
To begin with, at RIT, I am confident it won't be, because I know how Indian students think. I know what their thoughts are, how much they will spend. To replicate this model, I will have to think about more strategies.
Okay, all right. Well, thanks a lot, Bhuvish. I had the feeling that this was going to be a very successful project, and you've certainly delivered in spades. So good for you. And I wish you all the best luck in the world in getting it off the ground. Meg?
Thank you so much.
I really enjoyed that, and I thought you did an excellent job of utilizing the resources that RIT has in particular. So it's great to hear that you're already connected with a coach, Dana Wolcott, fabulous, at Simone, and it sounds like they're, you know, that's something that you can continue. And if you are interested, you know, offline, or once we're done with this, I'd be happy to talk with you about potentially funding you if you'd be interested, maybe for a semester, so you can try to make a go at this. So just let me know if you think you'd be interested.
All right, I'll definitely reach out to you and we can have a discussion. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Bhuvish. Great job.
Thank you for your time, and of course, please reach out with any feedback that you, or brainstorming thoughts that come to you.
Oh, don't forget the 2 papers too. I always have to remind students that there are 2 papers due in the next few days.
We'll do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
Great
you.
job, Bhuvish. Talk to you soon.
All right.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Bye.